When we think about the considerations of this company in China and the land use investigations that are moving forward, what do we know thus far?
Yeah, so like I was saying, and this has to do more with Taiwan's politics than you think about Foxconn, you immediately think of Apple. It doesn't have to do with Apple per se, but it does have to do with upcoming elections there in Taiwan. And so obviously Foxconn being a Taiwanese company, China not exactly being excited about them having democratic elections. So this is kind of seen as a political maneuver on China's part. It was announced in a state newspaper. So there you kind of go. And so I think the issue to talk about, though, as far as Apple and other tech companies go, because it's not just Apple's manufacturer, though they are one of Apple's largest partners, is what does this mean for companies that use Foxconn? How does this impact them? Will they see any drop in the ability to produce products? And I think at this point we really don't know. But if you look at what companies are increasingly doing around Foxconn, around China rather, is trying to get out of that area, or at least spread out their manufacturing. For so long, they were in China and they're beholden to China. They have to work with China as far as local laws. And so now they're trying to expand out of there into India, Vietnam, anywhere that you can think, mostly in Southeast Asia, to say, look, we don't want to only be in China. And they learned this lesson the hard way during COVID when there were those strict lockdowns. And Apple got jammed up when it came to being able to produce the iPhone as well as Macs. Then we saw the implications for that on their revenue. And so this is just kind of adding to that conversation of, how quickly can these companies start to build out their presence elsewhere?
So Dan, how quickly, though, when we're talking about the timeline of this, right? If we are seeing more headwinds, more risks associated here with China and companies being so reliant on China for manufacturing, when they are looking elsewhere, yes, some companies have already taken that initiative, but in terms of how long it's going to take to move away, do we have any idea? Is that a year's story? Is that a decade-long story? I mean, can you put that in context a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a long time. This isn't something where they can just be like, it's not like putting up a Wendy's, which, takes a little bit of time, I guess. But it's going to take years and years and years. And that's because they rely so much on the manufacturing in China. And they have some in India. They have some in other areas, but it's not nearly as much as they have in China. And so they're going to have to continue to rely on that and ensure that they're able to put out as many products as possible. I mean, an iPhone sells, millions and millions of units each year. So the manufacturing capability is necessary in China. It's going to take a while to actually get that built up, though, elsewhere.
Yeah, certainly. Well, year-to-date gains we're looking at for Apple up 33%, a lot riding on the iPhone sales this current quarter. We know it's so important here for the tech giant. But then, of course, the manufacturing side of things, what that looks like for Apple going forward. Another critical issue here for investors. All right, Howley, thanks so much.